Okay guys, so I had a question from a viewer named Costa who asked, when should I exit a stock? So today's vid is going to be a tutorial on the 3 occurrences that I use to decide when I should dump a stock and move on. G'day guys, the Aussie Share Trader here. Now today is a really important subject. When do I sell shares? This may be the thing that messes with traders' minds more than anything else. More than buying shares, I think when selling shares, it can really bring in the emotions that can really disrupt your trading. If it's a losing trade and you're trying to sell a losing trade, you hang on in hope. There's always hope that it can come back while you own it. So selling a losing trade is really hard. Locking in that loss is a really hard thing to do. But what about if it's a winning trade and it's going great guns? When do you lock in that win? That's a really difficult thing to do as well. Because what if this is the one that goes 10 times what you paid for it? But as a trader, you can't think like that. That's more for investing, completely different way of playing the market. As traders, we have to lock in profits, and occasionally, hopefully never, but occasionally we have to lock in losses as well. And knowing when to do that is all about having some hard and fast rules. So today I'm going to give you, in this tutorial I've prepared, 3 rules that I use to decide when to sell a trade. It's pretty basic stuff, but that's how I like to keep it. So if you follow these 3 rules, there's no vagaries about it. You have to sell when one of these 3 things happen. It'll take a lot of pressure off you psychologically and will make you a better trader. So, when should I sell my shares? An essential part of trading is knowing when to exit a position. This tutorial outlines the 3 triggers that indicate it's time to sell and move on. Just keep in mind guys, these are my 3 triggers. So, it may or may not work for you. I'm just going to let you know what I do. And if it works, great. Otherwise, you just keep searching and look for your own. Okay, first things first. Now, this is really important stuff. Decide before you enter any position whether it is a trade or an investment. Key rule: a trade can never become an investment, and an investment can never become a trade. The reason I write that is because it can become very tempting to turn a trade into an investment if it's going bad. You know, we can buy it and it can go down, and we can just try and forget about the whole thing and try and rationalize it in our own mind by saying, I'll just keep it long term now. It can become an investment. That's a trap. Don't do that with your trading. Keep it a very different mindset between trading and investing. And on the other side, if you buy a trade and it happens to go well, you might want to sell it and take profits. Sorry, I should take that back. If you buy an investment that happens to go well, you might want to sell it and take profits after 20 or 30%, when that's not why you bought it. You bought it to hold it long term for over a year, maybe 5 or 10 years. So don't turn an investment into a trade, and don't turn a trade into an investment. Now, I recommend keeping separate trading accounts for your trading and investing to ensure they are never confused. So I did a video back maybe a month or so ago, so if you want to look back, just a tutorial about how I trade personally, how I set up my accounts, and you can have a look at that for some ideas, and also have distinctly separate criteria for trading and investing, and never confuse the two. So when you buy an investment, you're thinking very differently to when you buy a trade, and vice versa. When you buy a trade, you're thinking very differently to buying an investment, and same goes for when you sell them. There's different criteria completely, so don't confuse the two. Okay, so that's important stuff. Okay, so when should I sell my shares? Scenario 1. Now, the first point I will sell a share is when a trade reaches a predetermined profit. Now, this figure can be used by an arbitrary figure, and when you're starting out, that may just be the way to go, just an arbitrary figure. I think a good way to start is 10%. 10% is a good chunk of change on a trade. What you can also do is perhaps add in any fees. So if it costs you 0.3 to buy and 0.3 to sell, make it a 10.6% profit on that trade. It's a good way to start. It's a basic way to do it. There are other ways that you can come up with a selling price, but I've got it here, analysis of the chart, or by using a beta formula. Now they are more advanced, and regarding the beta formula, it is something that I use, and I will make a future video explaining exactly how I use a beta formula to determine the sell price. But the important point here is, before you buy the share, you have the sell price in mind, and as soon as you buy the share, the sell goes straight in. That's the way I do it. As soon as I buy it, the sell goes straight in. So that's the easiest way to determine a winning trade. You take your profit when you hit a predetermined profit figure. Now, scenario 2, when a company fundamentally changes. So you enter a trade, and if you're watching this channel, you probably know that I enter trades for fundamental reasons. If those reasons fundamentally change, you sell. You'll have a list of reasons why you bought that company, or you should. If they change for whatever reason, they bring out an announcement or they report to the market and something has just dramatically changed, that's an instant sell. Whether you're in front or whether you're behind, it doesn't matter. You sell at that moment. So keeping in touch with all the news from the company will determine whether your initial reasons for buying the stock can still be justified. And if they can't, if anything has changed fundamentally that will affect the company, then it has to be sold straight away. Pretty straightforward, yeah? Now, number 3, when time indicates that you have misjudged the sentiment. See, what we are trying to do as traders, we are trying to judge the sentiment. We're buying good quality companies, but we're trying to judge the sentiment to buy them at the right time. So if a trade fails to move your direction within 90 days of placing it, a full analysis is to be completed again. And if unsure, the trade is closed. So 90 days is enough time for a trade to go your way. And if it hasn't gone your way enough, or even if it's gone down, it's pretty much time to sell it. Now, I put in here that a full analysis is to be completed, and you have to have genuine reasons why you won't close the trade. Perhaps when you're starting out, just leave that bit out. After 90 days, if it hasn't done anything, if it hasn't reached your predetermined figure, or if fundamentally nothing has changed, but it really is not doing anything, just close the trade and move on. As I spoke in my last video, if you want to go back and watch that, I spoke about having lots and lots of ideas, so that if a trade, for whatever reason, has to be closed, next idea comes along. So after 90 days, you might think, well, what if it goes up the day after I sell it? TFB. You got to be a trader. You got to be prepared to buy and sell. So that's my third pretty hard and fast rule. As I say, at this point now, I will reassess a share and decide whether I want to keep it. But really, it's dead man walking after 90 days. Every day I look at it, if it's not going to move in my direction, or if it's not moving in my direction, I just cut it and move on. So that's the third. So just recapping that, the first time I sell is at a predetermined profit figure. The second time I sell is if something fundamentally changes with the company. And the third time is if nothing happens after 3 months. Did you notice what I didn't put in? Automatic stop loss. Stop losses give up control of the trade and put you at the mercy of the market. Always stay in control of your trades. Be prepared to take profits and move on to the next opportunity. So if you want to go back again and look at some of my older videos, I'm against automatic stop losses. I don't use them ever. Never. I'll be prepared to let the stock go to 0 before I will take an automatic stop loss. And that may seem counterintuitive, but if you put this into practice, you will see what a massive difference it makes to your trading. You're giving the trade room, rather than just selling it automatically after it goes down, say 10%, let it go 10% and then give it room. You'll be amazed how many trades come back and actually turn into winning trades even after being down 10-15%. So I'm against stop losses, and I'm prepared to argue that with anyone. So that's it. That is the tutorial today. I hope that was of some benefit. Okay, there you go, guys. When to sell a trade. Now, the channel is progressing. If you did watch my very early videos, you would see how naive and how basic everything was. I'm trying to put a little bit more effort into my videos. I'm actually really enjoying the production side of things and making the videos look a little bit better and improving myself. I'm trying to say a lot less and just be a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera, which I think I'm getting slowly. The channel now, I've decided it just seems to be heading. There's 5 different types of videos that I'm doing. The first one being the tutorials like I did today. The second one is the shares to watch for the coming month, which seem to be probably the most popular ones. The third ones that I'm doing, where's my bit of paper, about the psychology of trading, which I personally enjoy because I can just sit down and sort of freewheel with that sort of stuff. The fourth one is the Q&As. I did the first one the other day and I enjoyed doing that. So any feedback, plenty of comments down there if you can, because I love getting them, and I will try and answer. And if they're a really good question, I'll do a whole video about it. And the last one is just a bit of fun stuff, which I can't categorize into anything else. So they're the 5 types of videos that I'm doing. If you're getting benefit, feel free to subscribe. I've never asked for subscribers before, and really I don't do this at all for subscribers. But it just sort of shows me that people are watching. I can't believe I've got 107 subscribers, which just astounds me. But it does give me a bit of a warm and fuzzy feeling when people do subscribe, and I get some good feedback from you guys out there. One last thing, I've started a Snapchat account. It is called Aussie Shares. I'll put the pic out, there it is. Now, I'm not exactly sure how Snapcode works, but I believe if you hold your own Snapchat up to that and put your finger on that code that I've put up there, that little picture, it will automatically add you as a friend or a follower of my Snapchat. Now, one bad thing about YouTube is it takes a fair bit of work to get a video up, and sometimes I want to just get something out quickly, and I figure Snapchat is a bit more dynamic. And so if something's happening during the day in the market, a share's making a move, or I have some little thought that I want to put out there, I can do a quick 10-second snap. So I can see a bit of value in having the Snapchat account. So if you want to go follow me on that, I don't have any followers yet, so you could be the first. And I will start putting little snaps out. I don't know if it will be daily or whenever it occurs to me to do it, and I'll try and get my snaps going as well. So anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you guys. It is a pleasure to do this stuff. Really enjoying it. I'll see you on the next vid.